Well, namaste, everybody, and welcome. And welcome to the intro to anatomy. So, please keep in mind that this is a go at your pace content and material. So, take it easy and take it as it comes. We're going to learn together, grow together, and experience and explore. We're going to go just as a high level overview. We'll touch on the musculoskeletal system, which will be broken down in more digestible bite sized segments as we dive into the material. We'll go over ligaments, tendons, fascia, muscles. We'll even dive into now how this whole physiology is then manifested by how we surround ourselves with our environment, what our exterior and how it affects our interior, and interior affects our exterior. And then we'll also take some time to dive in a little bit more into the different segments of the axial and the appendicular skeleton and what are those and how do we know the difference? And so we'll dive into that as well. At the end of this anatomy course, you're going to feel much more confident in knowing that you'll be able to speak on behalf of your students and give them the power that they need to approach their medical professional providers with some more insight as to specific areas that they are focusing on and need some help with. And with the knowledge that you gained here, you give them just a little bit more support in healing their bodies and guiding them in the right path. So let's dive into the intro now. And I'll read through this and you can follow along or you can listen along and then come back to the areas of the material where you'll see I will dive into maybe one of the PDFs that we may have. In your platform, you'll come into section E.4.1, Intro to Anatomy. And we open up here where most injuries occur when we are entering and exiting a pose. And I'm pretty sure we've all probably experienced that before. Maybe moving from warrior one to warrior two. And so, keeping that in mind, maybe take a moment here, pause the video, pause the audio, grab your journal, and in your life work, maybe write down what are some poses as a practitioner that you've noticed you've gone into or you've come out of and you didn't feel as yummy. You probably felt a little more tight or a little owie. So maybe ask yourself, what poses did I feel that sensation of discomfort? And what are some of the poses that I did feel comfortable in those transitions? And what happened? Go ahead and take some time now to pause the video. And I'll give you a few moments here to maybe make some bullet points that you might circle back to. Each one of us is incredibly different and therefore has different abilities in experiencing the poses. Remember that yoga is the map way to discovering our highest and unique selves. And I really want you to remember that line, that yoga is the map way to discovering our highest and unique selves. It's not about comparing ourselves to anybody in this digital world where we're now in. We find ourselves comparing a lot of the times or feeling inadequate at times. And this is a time to discover that we are now within the mapway to our highest selves. And we begin to reveal the physiology of the practice. We remember that yoga begins now. And like Yoga Sutra 1.1 says, we experience it where you are at now. So, Yoga Sutra 1.1 is yoga begins now, Anahata Yoga, Asanam. And Sutra 2.1, Tapaspadhyaha Ishvara Pranidhana Kriya Yoga. Yoga is the balance of discipline and surrender through the study of the self. So these two are very important sutras as we meet ourselves where we're at, and that's when we begin our practice. It's not where we want to go, and it's not where we were before. It's where we're at right now in the present moment. And we aim to balance the effort, muscular energy, the tapas, and the softening, the surrendering, that Ishvara Panidana, which will, if you remember from our yamas and niyamas, it's part of those niyamas. And we aim to balance that effort muscularly and energetically. That's the steadiness and comfort that we've spoken about before, that sthirkam and sutkam, steadiness and comfort, which we learned back in pranayama. Anatomy may seem overwhelming at first, which we've touched on before, but I really want you to keep in mind that it's just a tool to help you and your students navigate that mapway, that balance between tapas and Ishvara Paridana, and to avoid injury and to find more ease in all of the postures, steadiness and comfort, sthirka and sutkam. So I want you to take this time to read over the following material, and you can also listen to the audio and utilize the type of practice that serves you best. But again, take some time to reflect, like I asked before, about what was those moments where you came in and out of the poses, and where did the injury occur, if any, or the discomfort maybe, or did something awaken for you? And let's write that down, chat about it, write it in the comments below. We'll come into the musculoskeletal system, which we'll just quickly go over, and then we'll dive right back into. The musculoskeletal system provides the body with support and movement. It consists of your bones, your joints, and soft tissue, including muscles, tendons, ligaments, and fascia. This is also the Annamaya Kosha in reference to it as a side note bonus. We will be going over the soft tissue types, which consists of the following four. Here we have the ligament, we have the tendon, fascia, and muscles. Above and right below the quick meaning of the musculoskeletal system, you'll see an image that I was able to utilize from springerpub.com, and it's a medical website, and you can find some resources there as well to help you. And here we have the skeletal system, where we have the axial and the appendicular. I always tongue tie myself with it, y'all. And these two guide us on what are the axial portions of the skeletal system and what are the appendicular of the skeletal system. So have fun with that. I enjoy having a tongue twister and having a little bit of lightness in anatomy. We need to have a little bit of fun with it, right? And so go ahead and look over those. And although it might look overwhelming, let's break it down into chunks, right? So we have the bones of the skull, right? And then we have the muscles of the upper body. We have the bones of the thoracic, of the entire arm, and the muscles. Now, next section, our core, so the back body muscles, and the belly, obliques, even into the pelvic floor, our stability point, the legs, thighs, quads, knees, ankles, calves, and feet. We have all broken down into little sections. Okay? And we'll go by each one of those sections together so as to not get overwhelmed. In our next video, we'll dive into the ligament, the tendon, the fascia, and the muscles, and then we'll explain the life work as well. So take some time to reflect like before, write some notes, write some comments, and I'll talk to you in the next module. Namaste.